On this episode of the Junior Wakefield Show, what's a millennial? I believe everyone has greatness in them. As a personal trainer, it's my goal to get people to push themselves and to see the greatness in them that I see. And some people have stories so great, so incredible, I felt the need to share them with the world. Join me as I sit down and talk with some of the people who define greatness in our generation. This is the Junior Wakefield Show. Welcome to the Junior Wakefield Show. I'm Junior Wakefield. Well, good. Hope you guys are staying warm and staying dry outside. It is a cold, it is a rainy, it is a miserable day outside, but inside, we're nice and toasty. I have a question, and I have got some help here to try to figure out the answer to this question. I have 3 of them living in the house, and I still don't know exactly what they are. So the question, my special guest today, is a person who's going to help me with this question that I know nothing about. I don't speak the language. I don't understand where they're coming from. I don't understand a lot of things. So my guest today is going to help me out with that. And my special guest today is Kenzie Woessner. Kenzie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Now, I have a question, and I have something that I just can't figure out.
Okay.
And so I asked you to be here to help me out with that question. What's a millennial?
Me.
What's a millennial?
Anyone being in their 20s, or like the correct definition, if you want to look up in the dictionary, it's someone that is born between 1990 and 2000.
Okay. 1990 and
so
2000.
30
to 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is millennial a bad name?
I think it has a bad rep.
It does have a bad rep?
I think so.
So let me ask you the question. Let's go out. You tell me a couple of the bad rep or a couple of bad things that that's associated with the word millennial.
Being lazy, not motivated, getting things handed to them, not educated enough.
In the news today, when it talks a lot about young people during that millennial time that you're talking about, and you're a millennial, is that you?
No.
Okay. Now, I understand a lot of the things that you mentioned about, because some people do say that millennials are lazy. Some people do say they have everything handed to them. I know with the way the healthcare system and so forth, they can stay on their parents' insurance for a long period of time. I think it's 24, 25, 26, something like that. And so a lot of the times the word millennial, it's just, ugh.
It gives a bad taste in the mouth.
It does. It does. Now, no, don't get me wrong. As I said, there's 3 of them. I have 3 of them. And there's some aspects to it, but as they get older, some of the things that Tracy and I were able to teach the kids, I see it. And so I would not put them in that same category as a full millennial. And so, I'm proud of Zachary, Brevin, and Landry, my kids, in the things that I see with them. But on some aspects of it, when you look at the news or when you see the different riots and you see the different things going on, that hits the nail on the head. So now let me ask you the question. Why are you so different?
I think it's all how you were raised up.
Okay.
My parents are still together.
Okay.
27 years in November.
Oh, wow. Wait, and the names of your parents is?
Trudy and Bill.
Trudy and Bill, congratulations.
They forced me to get education. Didn't want to. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to seek this secondary education, but I did. And even some people that didn't do that, they act like me. My best friend went to cosmetology school. She acts like me, independent and a go-getter, and she doesn't just sit back and let things be handed to her. She goes and seeks them.
Now, and that's like you. That's
Yes.
what you say. Okay. So let's look at the accomplishments and things that you did.
God.
You went to a school outside of Texas.
Yes. Fumasuna. OU.
She went to OU. Anyway, so that's one negative that we'll say here in Texas. So, but other than that, do you live at home?
Nope.
Where do you live?
I live with my sister. We built a house.
Stop. Time out. Rewind. You live with your sister.
Mm-hmm.
You guys built a house. Mm-hmm. So wait. So that means your parents paid for it, right?
Nope.
Wait. So you pay the mortgage?
Mm-hmm. Mortgage, the bills.
And you have the bills?
Taxes. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was hard. And it's not for everyone. At the beginning, I was like, oh my God. Like, I graduated college.
Wait. Hold on. Stop. We'll go back again.
Oh.
You graduated college.
Yes.
You have a house built.
Mm-hmm.
You pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
You and your sister, y'all pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents pay you. They got to at least pay your car payment, right?
No.
They don't pay your car payment? You pay your own car payment? Wait a minute. That means you got to have a job.
Mm-hmm.
No, wait. What does your sister do?
She's a school teacher.
Okay, she's a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
40 ISD?
Yep.
Okay. And you have a job.
Mm-hmm.
And you work. And you pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
And you live in a house that you had built.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what did your parents help you with?
I'll be honest, my dad did help with furniture, but I have had to pay him back. And I have had to live, like, paycheck to paycheck because of that. But I knew that it wasn't an option for me to move home.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew, like, how I was raised and how I'm independent as all get out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ask for help. I don't ask for handouts. So going from a 4-year university to living by yourself, having your own rules, doing your own laundry, cooking your own meals,
Mm-hmm.
you can't just move back home and be under your parents' roof. I love my mom and dad. My mom is she's a nurturer. She's been a stay-at-home mom. She's raised me and my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So she would give me the laundry, like, let me make you dinner. No. I've done it for 4 years by myself. I can do it now. She taught me how to do those things.
Okay.
So I think that I knew that when I graduated, I couldn't be home very long because I didn't want to lose those skills and use my parents as a crutch.
Okay.
And so that's when my sister decided, let's go and get a house together. And it just made more sense financially to buy in general instead of rent. You don't ever see that money back.
That's true.
And I went in for 4 years in college. So, like, I saw that 4 years of rent go to waste pretty much and didn't get anything back. So you might as well just go and buy if you have the money and the needs to do it. So we did that. And then, I mean, there's been times that, I mean, I'm high maintenance and, don't give that look. But I've had to live, like, paycheck to paycheck or pick up, like, nannying jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I nanny all the time. And because of that, I'm able to get my eyelashes done and, like, not ask my dad for handouts, not ask him to cover the mortgage or things like that.
Okay. Now, when you were growing up and you talk a lot about your parents and you talk about the skills and you talk about the things that they instilled in you growing up, your mom, what does your mom do?
Oh, gosh. She's a stay-at-home mom. And a city council woman.
What? And a city council woman for the city of?
McClendon Chisholm.
McClendon Chisholm. And how big is McClendon Chisholm?
Population, like, 3,000, 4,000.
3,000,
It's probably
4,000 people.
4,000 now.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So now with your mom being a city council woman and also a stay-at-home mom and a wife, you were able to see and learn some of the qualities and skills from your mom
Mm-hmm.
to make who you are today. And your mom is a pretty fiery.
She's 4'11", but
Most
Lord
definitely,
have
she is
mercy.
4. Yes,
That
she is.
girl.
She is short, but she packs a punch, and that's incredible. But you follow in the same line as your mom did,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the millennial stereotype really doesn't fit you.
I've always been told that I grew up fast. I'm mature, and I know the world enough to not fit that characteristic because I'm independent, and I never have relied on my parents unless I really had to, college, high school, when I didn't
understand.
have jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, some people they get that label because they act a certain way.
Okay.
Which I'm not dogging on them. It is what it is, but I also think that it's a big how I was raised, how my sister was raised, how my parents still together, how they've set a setting stone for us, and we kind of had to meet it. And if we didn't meet it, there was consequences.
Okay. Now, with some millennials not being able to have the childhood that you had, or the childhood that my kids had, that we kind of pushed them to a certain level and a certain point, and eventually they get to the point that they have their own mindset. What is some advice that you would give to some of the young millennials or some of the young ones? Because you made a comment the other day when we were discussing this, that this millennial generation is the future, right? Your future presidents, your future politicians, your future mayors, your future business owners. What's some words of advice that you would give to some of the millennials that are now, who are still trying to figure out what they want to do, trying to seek, attention in certain ways? What is some of the advice that you would give? Not different than what you've grown up with, but what's some words of encouragement or some words of motivation that you would share with them?
I think just don't sit back and wait for things to come to you.
Okay.
I think that you need to go and seek it. My job was handed to me, but I'm so grateful for that. I've learned from it, and I've told other people that it's who you know nowadays. And so I feel like if you just sit back and just wait for those people to contact you, or you don't have a job in between, if you're in between jobs and you just sit there and you're like, I'll figure it out someday. No, get out there and do it and figure it out and move forward from what and change. I feel like we need to change the characteristics of being a millennial.
Okay.
And also, don't just stop and just give up and throw your hands in the air and say, well, I tried once. No, keep trying.
I think the avenues and the doors for so much stuff is there. It's sometimes it's not the color door that we want to go to. It's not the way things that we want it to be. And so a lot of times we kind of step back and say, and I say we, I know my generation has done it. And my generation now is that the generation of ones who are now, and I'm not giving my age, that's why I'm stumbling. No, or in the 50s, not in the 50s. I am in the 50s. I wasn't born in the 50s, but anyway. But it's being able to take the opportunities that are there and be able to go and open up the doors. Now, at some points, I would get frustrated growing up, and I'd go and kick down doors, and found out that wasn't the way to do it. But I was able to learn from the examples of what my father had taught me, what my mother had taught me, the things that I'd learned early on in life with family and so forth, and what I learned now. And so you're right, when each generation, even my generation is you got to go get it if you want it. You got to work for it if you want it. Don't let somebody try to hand it to you, because if somebody hands it to you, then you're always going to have to owe somebody. And so, even though I think the times are different, I still think the message is the same for millennials, the generation that's after millennials, the generation that's before millennials, and things like that. So, I applaud you coming on here for being able to just share what a millennial is, because sometimes that word is just really kind of taken out of context.
Yeah, I think people get it crossed also. I think people think that it's one thing when it's really a different thing, or just vice versa. I feel like people that my parents, they are the same. They think the same exact way you do. They don't know what it is. They don't know the slang. They don't know how people how mental health affects it. Social media, social media is a huge thing right now.
It is.
And my mom is Facebook savvy. That's it. I'm no, there's more to it than just.
Hey, listen. Trust me. I didn't know. Facebook slang. I'm still having trouble with emojis. I look up emoji definitions to see what's what. So different slang words. There is a completely different way of talking when you text message somebody, and because I text message THE, I'll see you later, or whatever, and different things like that. And that's what's IDK. What are you talking about? And especially my daughter. And she goes so fast, and she texts, and I'm like, nope, that's a capital there. This is that, and so forth. And it's wow, it's amazing. And so, being able to understand, trying to catch up, I guess it's kind of like the music back in Elvis when people are like, oh my God, this is Elvis. Now you think about the many different hip hop artists and so forth of today, which I'm like, oh, that sounds like a beat, but wait, what did they just say? So, which is really kind of different. So, but any last words of advice for society out there, or for people my generation who don't understand what in the world a millennial is?
I think don't jump to conclusions.
Okay.
I think that there are people out there that are a millennial, such as me, that don't act like millennials, but we still get treated like we're millennial.
Okay.
That we're set in the word millennial, even because by age we are. That's correct. But by our actions and our attitude and our forthgoing, we're not.
Okay. Now it's really interesting, and let me give you a shout out. I'll give a shout out to Bill and Trudy, and Tara, your sister, because it takes a lot. It takes a lot to raise a child nowadays, and your parents stayed on course. Your sister there, to be able to live with your sister, to buy a house with your sister, that ain't one of those where you can kick somebody out. You live with your sister.
You're stuck.
So you're stuck. Yeah, you're stuck. But to be able to do the things that you've done, to the things that you've accomplished, to be able to be able to come and help anyone here who was watching, to educate them on a millennial, I think that's pretty awesome. Let me go to the voice of God for a second. Is Andrew a millennial?
I believe I am. I forget the exact cutoff, but I'm 24.
No, we didn't catch that. We haven't. We can't hear that. So let me see.
Let's try that again. I've opened the window. Can you guys hear me now?
No, I can hear. I can barely hear you. You might have to speak. See, now this is a millennial, right? Because we're trying to figure this stuff out.
Check.
And so,
can you hear me?
Nope.
Check.
Yep. There.
Okay.
There he goes.
Yep. So yeah, I am. I don't know the exact cutoff age, so that's on me. But I'm 24, so I think I am, in fact, a millennial.
You are a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, what Kenzie just said. What do you think? Do you agree with a lot of what she said?
I do agree with a vast majority of what she said, if not everything. I think that there's sort of a connotation to sort of the word millennial. People tend to hear it in a derogatory sense, and she's right in the sense that it's in a literal sense just a descriptor. It's not meant to be good or bad or anything in between. It's sort of just how we identify, and just sort of, I think, due to the timing of everything, how we happen to be born during a big technological boom and everything becoming virtual, there's the idea that we're lazier. And I think we'll sort of experience the same thing with our kids and everything. And technology is so much easier that they don't have to type on keyboards or something, or they can just think, and the technology works for them. So I think it's a recurring cycle, and we just happen to be caught in a period where on social media everyone can just see it.
Gotcha. That's a good point, because I think the difference is in generations is social media. During my time, social media was hearing my mom on the front porch yelling and telling you better hurry up and get in the house, or stuff like that. Nowadays, you can send a text message from upstairs, and so that's different. Well, Andrew, thank the voice of God, Andrew, for chiming in, helping out with that millennial. Kenzie, thank you.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Give a shout out. Who you want to give a shout out to?
My parents, Bill and Trudy.
Okay.
They couldn't be here today. They had to work. And then my sister, of course, had to work
Mm-hmm.
to teach the littles. Bailey, partner, my best friend.
Bailey, best friend.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's stuck up. She's stuck with me. That's it. She's stuck.
Okay. Two millennials are stuck.
And then I can't think of anyone else.
Okay.
All my friends and family, yeah.
All the friends and family, all the millennials out there. I think that you're a great representation of millennial, which is awesome. I think you kind of take away that stereotype and take away that tag of what some of us didn't understand, or some of us still may not understand, because we may see something different in our own household, or we may see something different on social media or on TV. And so, but thank you for coming and to explain it. So, which is awesome. Well, here on the Junior Wakefield Show, it's about finding inspiring people. And I think Kenzie is someone who has exceeded what everyone has an expectation for when you label a millennial. And so I applaud you and thank you for being here, and actually just for who you are and what you represent. So, which is awesome, because you are a true representative of what not a millennial should be. So thank you much for being there. You know, I've had the opportunity to have some incredible people here on the show, all inspiring, millennials, non-millennials, some great people. In the next 2 weeks, I have an awesome privilege of sitting down with my son Zachary, and Zachary's going to tell his story about how he's battling cancer and how he's doing. So everyone, I would ask you guys all to watch in. If you want to update, it's tough on social media where we try to text, and I'm not really that good at texting, but it gives you an opportunity to hear from him. So I'd love for all you guys to watch in. Thank you guys for watching in and listening to Kenzie. Awesome job. Great story. Love to have her back in a couple of months and kind of see how she's doing. You know, I know she's going to be on What's on Your Plate. She has a recurring role on there, so you'll get to see her. But thank the Real News PR staff. Thank you, Andrew, again, the voice of God, for all that you do and what you've done as a millennial. And he produces a show, which is amazing. And, you know, I look for the opportunity to hear from you guys. And we got quite a few more guests coming. So I hope you had the opportunity to watch us, see us on all the social media outlets. But thank you guys very much. Thank you, Kenzie, for being here.
Thank you
Appreciate
for having
it.
me.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you again.
Yes.
All right. Actually, I'll see you shortly here on What's on Your Plate. All right. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for watching Junior Wakefield Show. I'm Junior Wakefield. And thank my special guest again, Kenzie Woessner. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.